afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is well. I hope that everyone's still awake. We're almost at the end, so I'll try my best to be, quick and informative with my presentation. Before I can start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Emmanuel Severemi. I'm a master's student. I'm currently doing my master's from the informatics department. I'm also a student athlete. I represent the University of Pretoria in cricket and football, first team. So I would say I'm a quite well-rounded person. And just before I can introduce my topic, I think my interest in sports and what I'm studying, it's something that I'm passionate about. And it is the reason why I chose the topic. So my topic, the title of my research is Enhancing Spectator Value in Test Match Cricket by Applying Emerging Technologies. This will be focused on Cricket South Africa as a case study, since we're in South Africa. The reason for the interest in this area is because I've played cricket from an age group. I've come from a disadvantaged background, and you can say I'm part of the 1% that made it out of the community. And for me, I feel very passionate about giving back to my community and finding ways to make it easier for the next generation to come through that same process. So that's a bit of the background to my research topic. Just an introduction, obviously, about the cricket. Cricket is a popular sport played with a bat and ball. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with cricket, but cricket can be played in the streets. You can get a piece of wood, a tennis ball, some crates. We're creative as kids, and one thing I could say that it is annoying for neighbors as you'd hit balls into the yards and everyone would just run off. And then later you'll get a knock at your door and the next thing you know, your mother or father is just slapping you and they're like, you need to stop this thing. So yeah, just a bit of that. It's a popular sport across the world. It's played in countries like India, Australia, England, Pakistan. So it's a very integrated sport with a lot of cultures and so forth. Cricket consists of 3 formats. Test match, which is the longer format, which takes over 5 days. You have the one-day international, which is called the ODI, which is 50 overs. And then you have the T20 competition, which is the new format that has taken over cricket because it's nice and short, it's entertaining, and it gives value to spectators. However, as much as there's T20, Test cricket is still considered the highest form of the game because you still have a large audience of people watching the game, although stadium attendance is low because of the duration of the time it takes, and also looking at factors such as the GDP in the country, people not able to afford tickets, transport to stadiums, but they still find the time to watch cricket. I think we move to the next one. Okay, this brings about the problem statement. So the problem with that I've identified in my research is the current revenue generation model in South Africa cricket relies on match day ticket sales, broadcasting rights, and commercials. However, this model is facing challenges in sustaining the profitability of 5-day test cricket. And why is that? Is because unlike India, Australia, and England, South Africa is not using the model. Whereas in the other countries, they have allowed other companies to actually to diversify the game in a sense that there are platforms whereby people who can't afford to go to the stadiums, they are able to stream the games. Whereas in South Africa, you only have SABC, which is the South Africa Broadcasting Corporation. However, they are owing money to the federations, such as cricket and the football. So it becomes a problem because now you have a certain class that can only watch cricket on SuperSport. What about the people who can't afford SuperSport? So I saw that as a potential problem, and I've looked at it in a way that we can use ICT platforms to actually ensure that, okay, the problem is there, so let's use other platforms to ensure that cricket is accessible to everyone, and on top of that, money is also being made. Because if you're not broadcasting cricket and other sports, you're losing money. So that's my field of interest, trying to make cricket profitable by using ICTs. Okay. Let me just touch a bit on my research objectives and questions. So the main research objective is to determine the potential of using emerging technologies to enhance spectator value in test match cricket in South Africa. I think I just mentioned that in the previous slide, that we are looking to use ICTs so that more money can be made, and the money can be used also to help communities, grow communities, provide opportunities for people who don't have jobs as well. The main research question: how can spectator value be increased in test match cricket in South Africa by applying emerging ICTs? Secondary research objectives and questions. These secondary research objectives are just subsets to the main research questions, so that I'm able to find more information on the main research question. So the first one is factors influencing spectator engagement at 5-day test matches. Secondly, cases of successful technology implementation in cricket stadiums. So when I speak about cases, it's looking at other countries, what are they doing, in order to solve that problem. What are they doing? What are the successful cases? How has technology been used in countries, for example, such as England, where you have a Grand Prix, and they use technology to engage spectators by listening to the strategy that's being used by the team. That captivates the audience. They are able to see what it takes to actually be a driver in that sport. Yes. The next one is challenges implementing technology for spectator engagement in cricket. I think this is an important secondary objective, because if you do not know the challenges, how will you be able to implement the technology? Yeah, and lastly, potential revenue streams through enhancing spectator engagement in South Africa. So when I speak about potential revenue streams, I'm speaking about social media platforms, virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. So how can we use those technologies to enhance the experience of spectators? Okay. Limitations. So I've identified 4 limitations, but there will be more, since this is just a research proposal at the moment. So one of the limitations is limited experience with technology in the South African Franchise League. If you look at the Franchise League in South Africa, there isn't many technology being used. I think it's the basic big screens, commentary, the basic things that we can get, even on YouTube. So there's no difference. So that's a limiting factor to this research. Limited resources for cricket stadiums to implement this new technology. By looking at, the loss of revenue, this could be a limitation, as right now Cricket South Africa does not have money to enforce these technologies. So this could also limit my research study. Potential bias in responses from selected participants, in a sense that the selected participants might just give me feedback just to make me happy, so that they don't feel that they're saying the wrong thing. So that's also a possible limitation to the study. Factors such as the rule changes may not be fully accounted for. Since the research study is taking place between now and next year, and normally with cricket, changes normally happen. So changes in technology, such as maybe not using stump mics anymore, not using augmented reality, or having a 360 view around the cricket stadium, changes in those rules could affect my study as well, because then it will make it a bit old, if I can use that word. Potential insights and significance. So potential insights would be understanding the impact of ICTs on spectator value in Test cricket matches, identifying strategies to increase revenue through technology implementations, exploring participants' perspectives on leveraging technology in cricket, significance of the research to this field. It can enhance spectator value, meaning that the findings can inform improvements in the overall cricket watching experience, increasing profitability. Insights from this research may contribute to the revenue growth in Test cricket matches. And lastly, how is it relevant to South Africa? Specific focus on enhancing cricket matches in South Africa, make it more entertaining, inviting new spectators, making it more engaging, attracting players from across the globe to come and play cricket here as well. So those are the potential insights and significance. The potential of emerging technologies, like I said, leveraging ICTs for a more engaging spectator experience. I've mentioned augmented reality, virtual reality, and so forth. Also looking at social media platforms. I think it's one of the things that's lacking right now in South Africa cricket is that we don't know our players, we don't know where they come from. The public is not able to engage with the players. It's very limited, and I'm sure in those rooms, probably like 20% who knows who plays for Cricket South Africa right now. Okay, there's a 1%, but that's my point. We need to create awareness around the game and the players so that the public can engage and feel that there's a correlation between maybe their background and the person who's watching. The second point, promoting the use of technology in cricket for better content and analytics. The use of machine learning could be an option. Machine learning provides real data statistics about the current players, who's on form, who's been taking wickets, who's the players to watch out for. So that could create an engagement between spectators and the game, plus with the technology as well, because that's what you want. You want them to be involved. You want spectators to create a fantasy league, where now they're selecting their own teams based on the machine learning, the data you're getting from machine learning. I touched on AR, VR, mixed reality. I think those are new concepts. They've been used in England, whereby there's simulations where a spectator can get into a simulating game and pick a bowler, for example, Rabada is a famous South African cricketer. You can literally face him and see like the intensity of his bowling, as well as how much time you have to react between him releasing the ball and you having to play the ball. So that creates that engagement and understanding that it's actually not easy as it looks when you're watching on TV. So I think that will be good. 360-degree view through a virtual reality can provide a virtual experience of the stadium. So imagine throwing this phone up and breaking it up into different pieces. So using virtual reality, you can have the whole stadium and actually have a broader view of the whole stadium by breaking it down to different pieces. So the person at home can actually understand, okay, I can't be at the stadium, but I can actually visualize and see, okay, this is what's happening, this is the stand, this is the pitch, this is the distance between the pitch and the boundary, and all of that. So that creates that environment. Another thing that brought about these emerging technology is that COVID-19 as well. So people have become comfortable by being at home. They're not willing to travel out. They're not looking to buy tickets. So using these technologies can actually create revenue by them streaming and logging in. Methodology. So the methodology for this research will be, the research design will be interpretism. The reason for that is that so we can explore the participants' experiences with technology, get in-depth understanding. Research strategy will be a qualitative case study. This goes hand in hand with interpretism because it is a qualitative approach, and you will be getting the participants' feelings, their perceptions and beliefs around technology. Data collection methods, I'll be using interviews and observations. Interviews will be open-ended questions so that you are able to get more insights and also be able to see how participants react to certain questions. Observations will be done at Supersport Park, where I'll be engaging with sitting and watching the public, see how they react to the game, they focus, as well as the sample size. There's no sample size right now, but until saturation happens, I think that's when I'll decide on the sample size. Because if I limit myself to a certain number, a sample size, I might miss out on key information, new themes. So right now, I'd like to have it a bit broader, in a sense, until I see that there's no more themes to identify. Data analysis, qualitative data will be collected through semi-structured interviews, videos, and audio recordings. Like I said, this is to ensure that you pick up on key cues, such as body languages, reactions, as well as just to engage with the participant as well, make them feel comfortable, let them express themselves. Thematic analysis will be used to analyze qualitative data. This will allow for identifying of patterns, themes, and categories. So this will make it easy to analyze the data by grouping it into its own categories, identifying those themes, and possibly also identifying new themes in those themes. So that's that. The theory underpinning this research. So the possible theory to use in this research will be the technology acceptance model. So this model was developed by Fred Davis in 1989, and it is used to understand how technologies are adopted by individuals. So it will help the researcher also gain a deep understanding as to what are the challenges in adopting technology, what makes you attracted to a certain technology. For example, when you buy a phone, you're always looking at, is it easy to use? Does it solve your problem? Does it improve your behavior as well? So all those things you need to consider when you adopting technology. This theory can be applied to enhance spectator value in test cricket through technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality. Like I said, it's the interaction between the technology and the human. So using this theory will allow me to gain deep understanding as to how people perceive the technology. Is it welcomed? Are there challenges? What can I do to implement it better? Conclusion. It's not the conclusion of the whole study, just for the presentation. Emerging technologies offer significant potential to enhance spectator engagement and increase profits in 5-day test cricket matches in South Africa. Leveraging ICT platforms such as augmented reality, virtual reality, and social media can create immersive experiences and attract diverse audiences. Lastly, embracing technologies allows cricket to adapt, enhance spectator value, and thrive as a profitable sport in South Africa. Let me see. Just a word of thanks. I would like to thank the University of Pretoria for this platform. I think for them providing us opportunities, for providing me with a bursary to play sports as well, to study at some stage. It shaped me to be who I am right now and to be in front of you guys, so I'd like to thank them. MasterCard Foundation for providing this platform, for allowing us to express ourselves, to grow in different areas, and for the encouragement that they provide, whether it's academics or personal support. I really appreciate it, and I'm thankful for that. To the cohort of 2023, thank you so much for your hard work, for your determination, for always willing to push yourself to look for greater heights. Because of your determination and desire, it has brought the best out of me to be able to come out here and stand in front of you to present my research. So thank you very much. And yeah, I think that's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Yeah, well done. Your research is very interesting, I must say, because it involves some new technologies and all. So, but the basic question I want to ask is
Yes.
that you are using technology acceptance model
Yes.
for your study,
Yes.
and the author you cited, published, his
Yes.
his paper in 1989. So has anything changed in the way that technology acceptance model is being used to study sport? Has anything changed? Then secondly, you say you are using qualitative research. Do you think it will be sufficient to maybe carry out this study? Because as it is, you're talking about adoption of technology and all of that. Because I know South Africa is decently technologically advanced, country in the African context, even in the world. So, what makes you feel that people have not had this thought before, and maybe one or two structural issues have made them not to really implement it? So yeah, so those are the questions. And what is the number in terms of the cricket fans, like over the years? Like, has anything changed during COVID-19? Did it drop, or do you really have any numbers to maybe to prove that? So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for those questions. To answer your first question, in terms of the technology acceptance model, right? Yes, it was created in 1989, right? Thank you. There has been new models that's actually evolved from the technology acceptance model. I think right now, like I said, it's a research proposal, and I'm still exploring other models that I could use, other frameworks. So right now, I'm just waiting for my supervisor to give feedback on whether it could work or not. But I've looked at some of the other models, and I think there are a few, depending on what you want, what your outcomes are for the research, any model could be applied as long as you make it work. Secondly, you asked a question about, is it the numbers? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the choice in using qualitative research method was to obviously understand the participants' perception on technology, like how they interact. Because I can say, yes, let's use virtual reality, augmented reality, but at the same time, it does not mean it will get adopted. So me using qualitative, I'd get an understanding as to why, what works, what doesn't, what other technologies can I look at instead of looking at quantitative. Quantitative is to do with statistics, and it's not what the research is looking for. Looking to understand, can technology solve this problem? Okay. Lastly, about the numbers. Have the numbers dropped? In South Africa, I cannot give you a figure, but looking at the amount of test matches played in South Africa decided to reduce those numbers. I think next year they'll be playing 3, if I'm not mistaken, compared to other national countries who are playing 10 and above. And this reason being is because they're not generating enough income. There isn't enough spectators coming to watch the games. So for them to take the decision is based on low spectators. And for them, obviously, to create revenue. Hence, they're focusing on T20, which generates more income. I don't know if that answers your question.